So, when you're kind of exploring the literature or doing a literature review, using databases and keywords is an excellent way to do it, especially if you're doing a systematic literature review and you're trying to capture all the literature on something. Another method that is more of like an everyday method is just to be looking at who's citing who. So, if I'm reading this little article about design thinking and pedagogy, I can see, okay, there's certain people here. Here's a person that's cited. The article is referencing this person. And so I might go to the end, to the reference list, and look and see if that's relevant to me and if I want to look into it further. Or I might even just go through the whole reference list and just look through the titles and decide if there's any of those that look like it's really important for me to know or look like it's really on my topic. You can use this in systematic reviews. It's usually called a snowballing approach, but it's just really good for just everyday exploring. Now, there's a new program that makes this easier. It's called semanticscholar.org. It's completely free. And basically, what it does is this is the article, Bridging Academic Disciplines with Interdisciplinary Project Based Learning. And here I can see this is like the reference list at the end of the article. This is going to have all the articles in it that are in the reference list. Okay, so we're looking backwards in time. The article I just said was, the main article was written in 2020. These are like 2017, 2016, etc. And the cool thing about this is you can choose date range. There's some other filters. You can also sort it by citation count. So then we're seeing for this article, Mind and Society, this is how many people have cited that article. And usually, if something gets a lot of citations, that means a lot of people have read it and found it useful. And so, if there's a lot of citations on something in your topic, it's usually really important that you know it. So, a lot of time when you do this, the first few ones are going to be more general, like about methods and stuff. But here's one right here, project-based learning and post-secondary education. That has 617 citations. So that's probably something really important for me to know if I'm looking at that topic area. And if I want, I can just go straight to it and I can go like crazy. I can look at their references, etc. Now that's going backwards in time. You can also go forwards in time. And I used to always do this on teachers on Google Scholar. So, for example, this is the famous um, technological pedagogical content knowledge, the original one in 2006 that got a lot of citations. Now, if I'm going to use this, I need something more recent. So I probably would cite the 2006 article, but I would also cite some more recent work. And I might also just be curious, man, I wonder what people have done since this article came out. So I can go to the cited by, and these are the people that included this article in their reference list. I can even sort it by year. So if I just want the last, couple years, I can go through and look at as well at that. And I can see the citation counts here. Okay. Now you can do the same thing on Semantic Scholar. You just go to the citations. So for this paper, this project-based learning in post-secondary education schools, here are all the papers that cited that paper. And again, I can sort by citation count, whatever I want. So if it has 600 something, that can be kind of overwhelming. So the types of sorting like this and stuff can be really useful. And especially the date range. You can do last 5 years or whatever your criteria is. And that can really help you find out what's been doing recently. Now there's one more tool I want to show you, and I haven't used this a lot yet. It's called Research Rabbit. If you go to researchrabbit.com or you just Google Research Rabbit, it's similar to Connected Papers in that you can start with a paper. So for this one, here's just one paper I put in, and it'll create nice graphs and charts and stuff for you. But it gives you a little more detail. It's not as nice of the interface, but it gives you more detail, and it lets you put a whole bunch of pieces. So just for fun the other day, I was just like, I put down a whole bunch of my own publications in here because I was curious what it would say. And so you see here for related papers, it has similar work, it has earlier and later. So that actually makes it easier to go back and forth in time. So I can look, I can get the chart, and this is the list of earlier work. I can go here and I can get the later work. Um, Another thing you can do is just look at the authors and suggested authors. So since these are my publications, I was curious who had recommended that I should write with. And it's funny, it's got some bugs because you see it has me in there and it has Puni Mishra a whole bunch of times. But I can go down and I know most of these authors. Some of them I know personally. Mary Colonsis, I don't know. Buchanan, I don't know personally. But there might be some like Nancy Hodges I didn't know. And so that might be someone that I want to look into more. So you can focus more on specific authors this way, which is nice. I also don't know that person. Um, and so that can be an interesting feature. So I'm not really sure how to use this best yet and what to trust. But it's another tool you could play with if you just want to be looking at similar, early, later, or looking by author. So many ways these days to find literature.